Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Rational Investors Bitcoin Summary for Friday, August 8th, 2014. We're moving right along here through August. This is your probably 5-10 minutes, something like that. Daily Bitcoin summary here for BTCE. We do this free Yahoo YouTube video. Try and give you guys a nice overview of what we're seeing as traders here in the market and what our expectations are going forward. And as always, you're more than welcome to pop on over to the Crypto Live room, where we do a more in-depth analysis in video format for our members. So this is our website. Probably a good idea to familiarize yourself with this, therationalinvestor.co. We've had this site up and running for about a month now. You can see lots of traffic. We're getting lots of people visiting the site, so that's great to see. And there's lots of good value here. So, the monthly subscription just to get access to the Crypto Live and the Crypto Daily is actually a pretty reasonable price, considering the daily content that we give you, trade setups, all that kind of fun thing. So, like I said, we want to make this about 5-10 minutes, and we want to give you a nice overview of Bitcoin. So let's get to the charts. All right, so I'm sure we're all very familiar with this chart. This is our daily BTCE. Last year's big run-up over 1,000, then the winter-spring correction back down into the optimal trade entry. Set up what I would probably consider, and so far it seems to be playing out that way. I've been talking about it recently as what I would actually consider probably the trade of the year here, coming out of late spring, May. We had the China ban basically kicking all its citizens out of the market, and then the market just went completely dead. And we just needed just a little bit of push to get through this resistance point, and off we go. And sure enough, we had a really nice rally. It was good-looking momentum off of this bottom. Nice turn on Willie. And the volume move here was very respectable, too. So put it all together, not a big surprise. We had a nice rally there. Market rallied up into some fairly reasonable fib resistance levels. We had the 38.2 off of the entire range. And we had the 50% level, which was off of just the year-to-date range. So you can see how the market just ran right up into this resistance zone and then just backed off. I've been talking of late, probably, I guess, about the past month or so. In fact, what is this date? We could argue it probably entered this range here. So this is the end of May. So June, July, and now we're heading into August here. So almost 2.5 months of just consolidation. And I suppose for the bulls, this isn't so bad. Basically, we had this big run up, so you had a lot of new buyers come in here. And so we're just going through the process of figuring out where the new buyer's uncle point is. Through this consolidation, we could probably come up with two fairly reasonable targets. If we break out bullishly through this consolidation zone, I see a high probability of us heading up into the daily OTE sweet spot, which is basically 806 up to 933. That's definitely on the table. It's certainly not out of the realm of possibilities. And then conversely, if there just isn't enough buying support and we break down through our 38.2 right here, then it seems logical to me that we're probably going to have to head down into this OTE down lower, which is about 410 up to 465. So interesting juncture we're here. I mean, technically we are supposed to be bullish. You can see that these quick spike down and reversals can happen very quickly in Bitcoin. And previously we looked at 2013's event with the Silk Road and how it sort of confirmed its price pattern. That was way back here, where we had a very similar sort of head and shoulder, inverted head and shoulders, where you got shoulder, head, another shoulder, and your neckline right through here, right? Something along those lines. Probably not the best drawing, but anyway, so you can sort of see it. And this was the Silk Road event. Oh my God, Bitcoin's a total fraud. And then the next day, oh, well, it's not so bad. So zoom, zoom. And what's really interesting is if you look at this action here, you could actually say that this was fairly predictable considering, let me just set this up here. Boom, that's probably good. Considering that OTE was right in this zone. So seeing this big meltdown Silk Road, all it did was just bring the market right back down to where institutions want to be buyers. And sure enough, they bought. So if we look at this year's action, and of course, history never repeats itself exactly. So, I mean, we're not going to get a carbon copy sort of trade. But you can sort of see similarly shoulder, head, potential shoulder, neckline. And gee whiz, what a coincidence. These shoulders just so happen to be right into OTE zones. So that sort of solidifies in my mind this concept of the market having to come down into this 400 area. Of course, none of the bulls really like that. They want to see price just move higher. But, let's put that into context. That's not the current market situation. Right now, we are still very much just trapped in this wide trading range. 668 is the top side, 545.50 is the downside. And as I've said before, we've had this trend line here off of this significant low and this significant high, and it's got a slight negative slope to it. So we may see the market actually come down and wash these lows out here just to see if it can get any weak hands out of the market. What's the direction right at the moment off the dailies? We're still working this range breakdown here. All we did was, we broke down through the bottom of the range. That's this green line. And we just dead cat bounced straight back up to this resistance line. This old support line is now resistance, and you can really see that taking effect here. And then just over the past few days, we had a fairly nice consolidation here. We ran up dead cat bounce into resistance, then backed off. And what I found interesting, we've talked about this before, but big fat round numbers seem to be very compelling levels for Bitcoin to turn on. So very interesting that this big fat level just happens to be 555 right on the nose, right? And it just took out this low by one tick. And remember I said recently we've been watching that the volume just basically vanished when this happened. There was nobody interested in doing any business. Keep in mind that the market is an auction process. So if you get to a point where there are just no auctions going on, the market's going to say, all right, let's go find where there will be some auctions. So it turned around and it started looking for sellers. Remember we said sellers just basically stopped selling down here. So we rallied back up to trend line. I had suggested that this 600 level is going to be pretty stiff resistance here going forward. We got the trend line, we got the 30 SMA, and we've got the old low end of the range. So, big traffic here. And I had sort of suggested that, maybe, off of this, just the last video I did, I said maybe we have a bullish bot forming on the 1 hours, which might take us up here into this sort of 615 area. And I guess sort of just finishing off the thought I had a moment ago, 555, big fat round number, and then we come down here and check this out, 572. Big fat round number right on the nose. And that's an interesting number because that's right around this 575 area, which is quite a psychological level. I mean, the way I would look at it right now is the market's sort of deciding, do I really want to be in this sort of 550 to 600 neighborhood? Do I want to be above 600, maybe 600 to 6.25? Or do I want to head down below 550 and, like I said, start talking seriously about OTEs down below? We also have Mr. Gans, 50% level, staring us in the face at 504. And keep in mind, 500 is a really big, fat, round number. So if the market's going to be drawn anywhere, I really wouldn't be surprised to see us have to play around here at this 500 level going forward. So put it all together off the dailies, not a heck of a lot to do here. You know, range traders should be buying the low end of the range here and looking for tests of the top end of the range, and that trade's worked out fairly well so far. I mean, if you had the kahunas, I think we talked about this recently too. I know lots of crude traders that just simply place their buy orders right on these lows, and they place the sell orders right on these highs. So you can see Mr. Low Bid here just basically putting his bid in here at 555 or thereabouts. He got his fill, market quickly ratcheted back to close to 600, and so he would have been well advised to take at least partial profits and maybe move his stop to break even. Nothing really in the way of trending. You know, when I look at these internals, we have been sort of talking a bit about this potential OBV turn here. So this is encouraging. You know, the past few days we talked about this bearish market structure and how we really needed to try and start putting in W type patterns here. And that's kind of what we're getting. Now, it's interesting to see. We had the doji here 2 days ago. We had yesterday's confirmation of the breakout through the top of the doji. The interesting thing there, 487.37 was the mark. The close was 484.23. So this bar could not even close above the doji high. That's actually not very good. But we're seeing today's sort of follow through. We rallied up into, and you know, when we look at the lower time frames for the paying members, we'll see how this was an important level here from two different perspectives. Long and short of it here, those that did play the long that set up, their stop should be at break even, and they might just get stopped out here. You know, there's no guarantees in the market. And then secondly, we had you know, you can actually kind of see it off of the dailies, but this is basically a bullish Gartley pattern that's trying to form here, where we go up and then actually, you know, maybe I want to do a different line. Let's get rid of that. Let's go down and put, I think this one will work. Let's see what happens when I do this. So we went up, then we went down, then we went up, then we went down, then we went up. So, you know, we've got a number of Gartley sort of working here. Let's see if we can just, will that work? There we go. So, you know, I can see a bullish Gartley with a resolution down into here, and that would set up a nice big rally here. I also see a bearish Gartley, boom, 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 which sets up a move down here. So it's almost like the bearish Gartley is setting up to meet the bullish Gartley's point D target, which is down in here. So long and short of all that is basically I've just suggested to members in my daily blog that if you were fortunate enough to get in on this long breakout, you know, this doji here is just perfect there. Then, you know, and we had, you know, as I said, on the lower time frames, we'll take a look at the setups. We had stop to break even level hit. So at the very worst, the bulls should be stopped out at break even. Those that are playing the Gartleys, if you really are inclined, you might have actually shorted this Gartley D point here, the bullish Gartley setup. Well, I guess no, I beg your pardon. It's the bearish Gartley setup, and you're looking for a move down into here. Obviously, all of this is very lower time frame charts setups off of the daily itself for you YouTubers. You know, the best I can say right now is this is a V bottom. It really ought to be tested. We have not reclaimed either this trend line or this trading range. So at the time being, we're really, you know, I guess you could argue for your daily people, we're range bound between 598.50 and 555. And we're just sort of figuring out where we want to go from there. All right, so that's basically your summary for today. hurry up and go sideways. We're stuck in this trading range. We're in the summer doldrums. You know, things are nice and quiet. Get out there and enjoy the nice summer weather because, of course, winter is fast approaching. In fact, the clocks are now starting, well, not the clocks, but the daylight, you can definitely see here on the west coast up near the North Pole here. The days are starting to get shorter again. Boo. Starting to see back to school specials in the stores and on commercials. Boo. So you can see we're slowly working our way here through the dog days of summer, and my hunch is we'll probably start to see the fireworks develop again once we get on the other side of Labor Day. But anyway, if you can take advantage of this, really, you know, for your daily traders, there's not a heck of a lot here to do. Really watch either end of these trading ranges, and let's really watch to see whether maybe we have the smatterings of some sort of momentum and volume bottom come in here. All right, so that's your daily summary for YouTube. You know, feel free to get back to me if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to try and help you understand sort of how I look at the market and some of the terminology and nomenclature that I use. Other than that, you notice that I've curtailed these daily free videos down to once every couple days. You know, especially with the summer doldrums and the fact that we're only looking at these daily charts for you guys, I'm not really going to get too jazzed about, you know, doing daily videos unless we start seeing some really wicked price action. But we're just nice and quiet right now. Okay, so you guys have a great day. All the best. We'll talk to you in a couple days. Check in on you guys. Feel free to pop on over to the site. Everything's sort of rocking and rolling. I really couldn't ask for a better site than what Julian's put together here. So he's done a fantastic job. We got the school rocking and rolling. If you really want to learn how to trade like a professional, I would highly encourage you to pop in there. The cost of this course is about 10-15% of industry standard, so it's extremely affordable. And it's a 12-week program, so you're like the last course people that I've been working with. I've been working now with them for about a month and a half, and they're all very, very happy with the product that they've purchased and the program that they're in. And I can literally see these people transforming into traders, starting to actually think the way traders should think. So that's very, very encouraging. I'm very, very pleased with that. And actually, we've had a couple people, like one of my major goals for the school is to actually get students to the point where they can teach the course material. Because the irony of trading is that they're basic principles and they don't ever change over time. They're exactly the same concepts that you could have employed in the market 100 years ago. So how ironic about that. So anyway, long and short of all that is I actually have a couple students in the program right now that, you know, their main priorities are to become instructors here with the course. So I'm so pleased. I could not have asked for a better outcome with all this. The Crypto Live, of course, excellent source for really detailed videos on you know, looking at the 4 hours and the 1 hours. And I know you YouTubers want to see that stuff, but I've got to try and get some discipline here and really curtail this. So I'm just going to keep your YouTube video to daily. And then, of course, we've got the Crypto Daily blog, and I'm constantly blogging away. As you can see, you know, here are recent blog posts. Basically every day I'm in there writing something. And you'll notice, you know, as I had pointed out, you know, for you YouTubers, we had a trade setup come in and the stop to break even levels hit. So at the very worst off of that trade setup that I was talking about here over the past couple of days, bulls are going to get stopped out of break even. Oh well, big deal. Hasn't happened yet, but that's sort of the worst case scenario for the current setup that we've been talking about lately. So, you know, things are going pretty well. Okay, so let's leave it at that. You guys have yourselves a great day. All the best, and we'll talk to you later. Bye for now.